Hey guys, it's me, Duck Adam. This is a video going over a voice chat that occurred in August 4th, 2024, 2 months before roxserpent was fired from Blush Crunch Studios. This voice chat, as a quick discussion over it, is one that explains Jake's actions clearly to Qwel 2 months before firing him, and she, of course, lies about this never happening and of course about not knowing the information that she clearly gained through this call. As a quick content warning, this video will be discussing topics such as grooming, CP, Qwel, and all sorts of awful things. And if you are uncomfortable with such, there will be a TLDR and a transcript linked in the well, not linked, but in both the description and the pinned comment. I'd also like to give thanks to Chip and others like the good chum. Qual knows who it is that helped me get this video, and other people for helping in this video's creation. So, good job, guys.
Not
Send
the-
it. It's
yeah.
censored, but less censored.
Yeah.
The
The people talking there are Xtriel and Void. I think it's Void. It sounds like Void.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a drawing by roxserpent depicting an adult and a minor, both fictional characters, unlike his other art, which are both depictions of real people and both minors. Right? This is one in a pretty small series. There's one other art depicting these two characters. It's pretty disgusting. What is notable is that it is sent here and it is very little cropped. It's hardly censored and it's pretty obvious exactly what it is. And as you'll see, it is explained exactly to Qwel.
Like I said, it's deplorable.
roxserpent admitting that this art is bad.
I'm not gonna
But
sit
this
here.
was so. Okay, I'm trying to get the context of what's going on. Both of these were minors. Is that what you were saying?
Okay, in this drawing, it is an adult and a minor. Shinzu, the person speaking, is getting it confused with a other art by roxserpent, made under the exact same context as this one, as will be mentioned shortly. Although that art depicts two minors being Gary and another anonymous victim.
One was an adult, one was a minor.
roxserpent admitting that this drawing depicts an adult and a minor, which does make it child pornography.
Oh,
Yeah, the Gary stuff was both minors.
Xtriel explaining what the Gary stuff is. So,
Yeah, that was the Gary stuff.
okay.
roxserpent admitting that the quote Gary stuff, aka his other child pornography, does depict two minors.
Okay, yeah, which was the stickman stuff.
The stickman stuff is a sort of lie that Qwel uses. It is fairly true for much of the art he had drawn, especially in some contexts where it was pretty poorly drawn, but that doesn't take away from the fact exactly what the art is, CP, because it depicts two minors engaging in sexual act. It doesn't matter on the skill or detail added by the artist, it matters on what the art actually is.
But this wasn't. Huh. I don't
Me
know
a
how I
minute
feel.
act.
Shit. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that drawing. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
It's pretty bad.
roxserpent saying it's pretty bad in reference to pretty much all of his art, not only the one shown, because, that's kind of the one he's more directly referring to, but again, the rest of his art is pretty disgusting. roxserpent here admits it is bad.
It's pretty bad.
I'm guessing the one with their tongue sticking out is the minor.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Oh my god.
roxserpent admits that fact, so pretty much admitting that, yeah, it is CP because it shows a minor in a sexual act.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's disgusting.
That is Qwel speaking. That is her saying directly that it is disgusting and that she is not a fan of this art. So why did she keep him around for 2 months? The biggest detail is exactly what this disproves. A message from Qwel in her response to Parlo says that she hadn't known the full context of this art, even though in this exact call, she has the exact context explained to her. Right? That being that it was made for someone else, that it's CP because it depicts an adult and a minor, as well as talking about other art that depicts a minor on a minor, right? And yet she didn't think it was bad at all, even when she saw one of the most in-detail drawings. And of course, as known by the Spookener messages, she was likely, and I say likely loosely because she like 100% did, years ago, that she was made aware of art Jake had drawn depicting Gary and another minor, as shown by her DMs with Spookener and what Spookener had told him. Something that always pissed me off was, people always thinking, oh, and Qwel trying to say this herself, that it's not reliable because it's just Spookener's word, even though this is his direct responses to Qwel in a VC, right? Only that his messages were archived. And of course, he tells Hilo that exact knowledge that he had gained from Qwel, which would result in what would come.
But as I've told you, and I'll say to X here, I obviously vowed to never draw shit like that ever again, and obviously I myself don't support it. This was only drawn for this person.
This is technically true. Roxserpent did well, actually not really. After this point, well, in the VC, he hadn't drawn porn for quite some time. The last time he did was some pretty disgusting stuff on the Roxserpent archive. However, that is not public because it's just gross, right? Though it does depict sexual assault. He is telling the exact truth about what this art is, that being that it was made for someone else, being Octo Trooper and the Octo Gang, right? So he's not lying here. He's telling the direct truth, and Qwel is here to understand that and is actively displayed that she is uncomfortable with the art, yet she does decide to keep Jake around knowing this fact. And because she knows this and that, it's all this, right? She knows that this is art depicting an adult and a minor. It's unreasonable that it takes a far less awful drawing, I'm comparing CP here, to have him fired, because frankly, it wasn't the art that had him fired. It was more or less the fact that they were caught in what they were doing, right? It was obvious what that was. So Qwel had to save her own ass there and fire Rox before people started looking into her more. And of course, with people being content with only having Rox fired. Not understanding that Qwel is an enabler and has allowed this from Jake for far longer, has actively supported him, and is just a bad person. Now, another thing I'd like to go into detail about is her lying about her involvement with Roxserpent's videos. So the third video, our final response, it's pretty obvious how she helped with that video. That being within her, having a segment within the video where she not only slanders a bunch of people, just lies straight through her teeth. When you know anything, you know she's lying throughout that whole segment, right? However, it is her first video that is the most important. The first video they made, an answered allegations, I believe it's called, right? That one, in her response to Parlo, she said that she was working while Jake was doing that. However, I'd like to say what work, but also she was helping with the thing. She helped name it. She gave him feedback. She was the part of the reason he even made it in the first place. And technically, a Duck Adam video was too, so that's kind of cool. I'd like to thank the people who helped me with this video, being Chip and others. Qwel knows exactly who one of them is, and I know it's gonna keep her up at night. We can have another nightmare, huh? That's a niche reference. Anyway, that's all, and I thank you guys for the support on this video, or maybe not support. All I want is that you guys take this into account more. That Qwel did know exactly what Jake had done, as shown in this call. And a lot of other clips from this call. The existence of this call just proves that, yeah, she did know what he did before firing him. And, the Spookener DMs also show that as well. Because, frankly, she is one of the biggest reasons that Jake got away with everything for so long. And truly, I don't think someone like her, an opportunistic liar, should be platformed whatsoever.
With your faith and your Peter Pan advice, you have no scars on your face.